Henry Cejudo thinks he can beat Merab Dvalishvili. The former UFC double champion is never short on confidence, and despite his recent setbacks, he believes he has the skills and experience to take down the surging bantamweight contender. Cejudo, who returned from retirement in 2023 but fell short against Aljamain Sterling and later against Marlon Chito Vera, is still determined to reclaim gold, with Merab Dvalishvili now emerging as the clear top contender for the bantamweight title after his dominant win over former champ Sean O'Malley. Cejudo sees an opportunity to prove he still belongs at the top of the division. In a recent interview, Cejudo broke down why he believes he has the tools to defeat Dvalishvili, pointing to his Olympic wrestling pedigree and high fight IQ. While Dvalishvili is known for his relentless pressure and insane cardio, Cejudo claims he has the technical wrestling edge and striking versatility to neutralize Merab's offense. He also noted that while Dvalishvili has looked dominant in his last several fights, he has yet to face an elite level wrestler with a championship mindset like himself. Cejudo also addressed the doubts surrounding his ability to compete at the highest level after his time away from the sport. Many critics believe that the game has evolved since his prime, with younger and hungrier fighters like Dvalishvili setting a new pace in the bantamweight division. However, Triple C fired back, stating that he's been competing against elite athletes his entire career and has never backed down from a challenge. He reminded fans that people doubted him before his fights against Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw, yet he shocked the world both times. Dvalishvili, on the other hand, hasn't responded directly to Cejudo's call-out, but has made it clear that he's focused on securing a title shot rather than engaging in trash talk. Coming off dominant wins over Petr Yan and Henry's former rival, Jose Aldo, Merab is currently riding one of the best win streaks in the division. Many believe his relentless pace and grinding style would be too much for Cejudo, but the former champ insists he has the strategy and experience to counter it. While a potential matchup hasn't been booked yet, Cejudo continues to push for the fight, believing a win over Merab would put him right back into title contention. Whether the UFC sees it the same way remains to be seen, but if this fight happens, it could be a high-stakes battle between two of the best wrestlers in bantamweight history. Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo do not think Belal Muhammad would beat Dricus du Plessis. The two former champions recently shared their thoughts on a potential fight between the surging welterweight contender and the newly crowned middleweight champion, and they weren't convinced that Muhammad has what it takes to overcome du Plessis' power and pressure. Despite Muhammad's impressive win streak and well-rounded skill set, both Usman and Cejudo believe that the size, strength, and unorthodox style of du Plessis would pose serious problems for him inside the octagon. Usman, who has trained and competed alongside some of the best in both the welterweight and middleweight divisions, pointed out that du Plessis has continued to defy expectations. Many critics doubted the South African's ability to compete with the elite, but after beating former champion Israel Adesanya in a grueling battle, he has proven that he belongs at the top. Usman acknowledged Muhammad's strong wrestling and endurance, but questioned whether he could handle the physicality of a true middleweight like du Plessis, who has shown the ability to overwhelm opponents with relentless pressure and awkward yet effective striking. Cejudo echoed these sentiments, breaking down the stylistic matchup between the two. Triple C acknowledged Muhammad's durability and fight IQ, but emphasized that du Plessis thrives in chaotic exchanges, where he uses his unconventional movement to create openings for big shots. He also highlighted du Plessis' ability to recover quickly and push forward, even when hurt, making it difficult for any opponent to break him mentally. Cejudo, known for his detailed fight analysis, believes that Belal's methodical approach wouldn't be enough to nullify du Plessis' aggressive style. Another factor both Usman and Cejudo pointed out is the size difference. While Muhammad has spent his career competing at welterweight, moving up to middleweight to challenge someone like du Plessis would be a major adjustment. Du Plessis has repeatedly shown that he carries his power late into fights, and Usman specifically noted that Muhammad, despite his elite cardio, has never faced someone with the same level of physicality. Muhammad, who has been campaigning for a title shot at welterweight, has yet to respond to Usman and Cejudo's opinions, but he has made it clear that he believes he can compete with anyone in the world. While the fight with du Plessis is purely hypothetical at this point, the discussion highlights the ongoing debate about weight classes and whether certain fighters could maintain their dominance when moving up. Regardless of the opinions of Usman and Cejudo, Muhammad remains confident in his ability to prove the doubters wrong. Belal Muhammad plans to walk through Jack Della Maddalena. The surging welterweight contender is brimming with confidence as he eyes a potential showdown with one of the division's most dangerous strikers. Muhammad, who is currently riding an impressive winning streak, believes that his well-rounded skill set, relentless pressure, and superior wrestling will be too much for the Australian knockout artist to handle. While many see Della Maddalena as one of the most promising rising stars at 170 pounds, Muhammad isn't buying into the hype and is convinced that he can dominate the matchup from start to finish. In a recent interview, Muhammad made it clear that he sees glaring weaknesses in Della Maddalena's game that he intends to exploit. He acknowledged his opponent's crisp boxing and finishing ability, but dismissed the idea that JDM has faced anyone of his caliber. Muhammad pointed out that while Della Maddalena has racked up an impressive win streak in the UFC, he has yet to face an elite-level grappler who can push him into deep waters. Citing his own dominant performances against top contenders, Muhammad is confident that his wrestling and pressure will break the Australian before he gets a chance to land his devastating punches. Della Maddalena, on the other hand, has remained composed despite Muhammad's confidence. Known for his calm demeanor and technical striking, he has proven that he can remain dangerous in every round. With a slick counter game and the ability to set traps for his opponents, JDM has finished most of his fights with pinpoint accuracy and brutal combinations. His recent performances against veteran competition have only solidified his reputation as one of the most lethal strikers in the division. However, Muhammad argues that none of those fights have prepared him for the pace and pressure he brings to the octagon. Muhammad also took aim at those who continue to overlook him in the title conversation, stating that a dominant win over Della Maddalena would silence any remaining doubters. Despite being on the cusp of a welterweight title shot, he is willing to take on any challenger to prove that he is the most deserving contender in the division. Whether this fight gets booked or not, the tension between these two contenders is already brewing, and if they do meet in the octagon, it could be a classic clash between elite striking and relentless grappling.